And welcome, boys and girls, to the Full Circle Showstopper for Valorant here in Oceania. My name is Ian Lan Seaton. I'm joined here by my good man, Draw Alto. Buddy, what's up, man?
Not much. I'm doing well. Really excited to be casting this. It's my first experience casting Valorant, so hoping to do a good job with it and have some fun out here.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for us here in Oceania, and just to be able to cast Valorant, a game that's technically still in beta, but everyone's just loving so much. It's a great opportunity for all of us here in the region as a whole. Have you had much of a chance to play Valorant yourself?
I have. I was one of those lucky people to get in on the first day they were dropping the Twitch streams back on, what was that, April 3rd, I want to say. So from the second that beta opened, I was in and grinding it, and I'm sad to say I'm not very good at it, but I have played it a ton, and it's a ton of fun. So expect all the teams out here tonight. We'll be having a lot of fun with it as well, and hopefully we can see some good gameplay.
I'm sure we're going to see some pretty interesting combinations as well. Most people won't have a set structure for a meta, so to say. Definitely going to see a lot of things with a couple of agents that we're not used to seeing already, and maybe even some creative stuff coming out for a lot of these players as well. Excited to see how they're going to make it unique to them.
Yeah, and one thing to mention here is that the Showstopper Cup did have open signups, so we could have players in here of pretty much any skill level, ranging from amateurs to pros, and that's kind of the point of it, to just see, a bunch of people come in here without much of a meta maybe having formed yet and see what they can do.
And at the same time, I feel like this is a great opportunity for a lot of organizations in the region to just get your eyes on a couple of these players, and vice versa for these players to really put on a good show for any orgs looking to pick up maybe a starting roster to get into the scene.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, whenever you have a new game like this come out that's clearly aimed at a more competitive base, this first kind of few weeks to a month are really frantic in terms of looking for players. But it looks like we are going to be live on the first match of the day, that being between Treehard against Marvin's Fedora. As we are getting into what looks to be op select right now, so within 90 seconds, we should know what both the teams are playing. And we should be on our way. The first map, though, is going to be Bind, that map with the teleporters.
I hate those teleporters with a passion. I really do.
Do you?
Ah, man. I mean, I feel like if you get through that teleporter, you shouldn't be allowed to stay in that room. But that's just me.
Right. But I don't disagree, but I think that's kind of the part of it, right? Is that, or the point of them is that they give you these interesting rotation options, but they're super high risk for maybe even medium reward. So a lot of the times you won't see them play into gameplay too much unless it gets down to those, kind of 1v1 last second rounds where you can really play up those mind games. And I'm also a breach player, so I like taking the telly and flashing out of it.
Okay, cool. And you know what? Maybe you can throw your grenades and some of your ordnance in there as well, right? Some utility.
Yeah, you can have raise grenades go through there. A Sage slows can be pretty powerful since she likes to play up A short a lot. And
yeah, exactly.
Just maybe harass people, especially through that middle one. The one outside of B long, maybe not as strong, but it looks like we are going to be in game right now. I don't think we actually know which team is which, unfortunately.
Oh, so we just found out that Treehard is on the left-hand side and Marvin's Fedora is on the right. And talking about Fedoras, we are looking at a couple of ciphers being picked up from both sides here. Phoenix also being picked up, Sage, S-Class.
Almost identical comps, actually. The only difference being that I believe we said Treehard on the left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Treehard running that breach, whereas Marvin's Fedora running the Raze. Oh, maybe those may not be the teams. Well, we'll keep you updated on that. But looks like it will be, that is Marvin's Fedora starting out on offense. Phoenix, it looks like, playing in hookah. Going to throw a molly out right there. Breach, the other player on B, lands a tremor right there. No action on A at all, as it looks like this will be a B hit for the first round.
Yeah, we see that Sage over there has already bought. I mean, we're seeing a lot of these agents already pick up their class abilities as an initial pickup, and it just shows that class abilities are just so integral to the first starting rounds. A couple of grenades, actually, C4s going out there as well. Nice little slow from one of the Sages on one of the teams.
Yeah. Looks like Flux was going to be the first one there to get a kill. That coming out onto the Phoenix. And here comes some more kills. Ooh, a molly kill going over onto Spratty. But Nation, Capo, and everyone trading kills back and forth right now. Tuok doing a lot of work for that defense team. But he's going to get spammed out through the smoke. Flux on a 3K of his own right now. Flash going to come out from Phoenix, and it's just Tazi sitting on site. Ooh, great dink right there onto Flux. But here comes the Flash. Not a good thing, but oh, the Phoenix not able to land the kill right there. Tazi going to clutch it out. First round going over the defense. I believe that is Treehard right there. But again, we'll get you updated once we know more.
Wow, I can't believe that Phoenix lost that duel, even though he landed the flash.
I want to say that was two flashes.
I mean, regardless, even if it was one flash, like, how do you drop the ball that hard? In the end, though, the spike was planted, detonated, and the defense lost. So, moving on to another round of attackers going in. Will they be able to make this 2 rounds back-to-back work for them? Having said that, Breach is ready with the flash. Flashpoint going out there already, stopping a couple of rotations, but it doesn't look like anyone's there to receive that. Ooh, Indy going for a bit of a flank.
Yeah, with the Ares too, of all things. I mean, interesting pick for attacking. As in, I've seen that gun come out a couple times on defense on eco rounds. Hopefully, you find them where they're rushing and just treat it like the Negev in Counter-Strike and just try to, mow them down with it. But on offense, it should be interesting. Spike heading towards the A site, though, grouped up outside of A short. See Delusion on that Cypher pushing into bathrooms. Might just put up a tripwire to watch for flanks, see if he can bait anyone into getting that orb. But he's going to take it up there, and it looks like they are getting a little closer onto A. Some pressure B, too, though, but they could tally out.
Oh, yes, a nice reverse step into the teleporter just to cover his own 6. Rotation through the showers as well. A couple of grenades go through. Does look like a lot of action. Might just be coming out right here. One tap, rotating through. Sees one, maybe. No. Sage and Cypher on his team. Does look like one shot, one tremor goes through the wall. Does decide to go forward. Rotate around there.
Yeah, and Flux getting a couple kills on site. Oh, and there's Flux with another 3K. Tuok answering it. 4 for Flux right there. Playing on site, one tap, the only remaining member on that defense with almost no health left. Flux gonna be hunting for that ace, and he's gonna get it. The Spectre coming out big as we see Flux 3 in the pistol round, an ace in the second as it's 2-0 for Marvin's Fedora.
An amazing play by Fluxux. Fantastic timing. And let's talk about Raze for a second, because I feel like Raze is one of those agents that not only is, she's the freshest agent available to us, but at the same time, she has so much kill potential as a duelist.
Update on the teams, we were incorrect about that, so it's going to be Treehard on the right with that 2-0 lead right there. Marvin's Fedora on the left, as they have been unable to take any of these 2 rounds so far. But yeah, I do want to go back to Raze, though, because I feel like she was, we saw her get nerfed very early on with that change to her grenades, where instead of having a second grenade she can buy, like all the other duelists, it recharges after 2 kills, and I feel like that put her in a really good spot, because you can't have that double grenade harass that can just, completely kind of blow people out from 150 to 0, to be a lot more precise with it. But as we speak about precise, a bit of a hookah execute going on right here. Gonna have to see how that turns out.
Yeah, they are going to be throwing in at a grenade launcher. A couple of smokes come down from.
Speaking of the grenade.
Oh no, Bomb Buddy running right through. Can't seem to find anyone just yet. Will he be able to live through it? And oh, he doesn't realize there's one right in the corner. He's going to put through with that knife, and oh my gosh. Phoenix will take one out, but gets taken out with him by the counterpart Phoenix, and there we go. 3 to 4 right now. Doesn't look so good for Marvin's Fedora. Treehard dropping one down as well, leveling out the scoreboard, and maybe a couple more smoke bombs coming out just to give a little bit more cover for his teammates.
Tazi, though, gonna take out Flux, something that really hasn't been done too much before right here. As, a big wall gonna come up. That's gonna block off a lot of sight. Tazi really going for that clutch, and there was Delusion on the spike the entire time, it looked like. Able to finally get that defuse down. Played a little bit too much out towards long, but that wall was gorgeous.
Fantastic play, actually. Cut the line of sight, gave him a little bit more security, and allowed him to pull back just a little bit so he could actually execute a nice a nice swoop.
Yeah, and just, I mean, that's kind of the risk when you have everyone play out towards long. They were able to get in, get those kills on the players holding closer towards CT spawn. And, you know, normally you have that a little bit more spread out, and a lot of the time Sage will use her wall elsewhere, but when you can save it for that retake, it'd be really powerful. But speaking as the round starts, Tuwak gonna get a quick kill out onto Flux, Pretty landing one onto Delusion, and things maybe going back into the favor of Marvin's Fedora right here.
A bit standoffish. A lot of these players are very far from one another. Trying not to engage just too much at the moment. But considering that TreeHut are down 2 members, they have to play a little bit safer, and they have to just be a little bit more calculated with how they execute these attacks.
Yeah, but we see Spratty getting one back out onto the defenders right there. Indy using a wall to boost up on mid. Looks towards U-Hauls a little bit. Not going to find something. Gets shot from heaven, so they know one is there. Pretty throws a molly in over it. They are free to take that telly if they want because of the wall, but there is a gap in it. Pretty finding that on his own right there. As, yeah, just waiting a little bit for these teams to go on for an execute. With Brimstone on Treeheart so hurt, it's going to be difficult to really push in here. Smoke's come down onto A, though. I think we'll see something soon.
Using the smoke screen to actually just push up and gain a little bit more territory. Still very wary and still very aware that they are surrounded. One going down does leave it down to the last Phoenix, and no, he will be taken out. One tap, cleaning that last kill onto Nation, and the defuse will be successful.
Yeah, breach charge kill coming out this early. That was probably on whoever was planting. Just guessed we're, you know, kind of in that default plant spot by the APC, but just, you know, really good work by Tuwak there. Able to take out Flux so early, who's really been a catalyst, I think, for who is that? That is Treehard on the right there. So taking him out early felt like it took a lot of momentum out of the sails of Marvin's Fedora or go out of Treehard. I'm beefing these teams. My bad. But just, you know, good play there, and that's what happens when you go for that aggro peak. But it looks like they are going to rotate back towards B, where they've had more success in the past.
I feel like B is just one of those sites where it needs to be a multi-angle push. But at the same time, the defenders have some pretty good vantage points where they can defend it. And if they actually hold down that window room, or as some people call it, I mean, you called it hookah, right?
Hookah, yeah. That's what I've heard most people call it that, but yeah, it can be just, that's such a critical area for it. And with that Cypher playing on B now, Capo's going to have so much, you know, ability to just stall pushes, delay them, and potentially pick up kills as they push in, giving his team time to rotate.
Yeah, very strong wall coming here from the Sage as well. Just ready to put out that slow. Gonna stop them from making any advances. And I tell you, man, that slow is dangerous. It is so painful to walk through.
Yeah, one of the changes came out as we discussed about that Raze nerf is that you can walk through the slow now without having it make a sound, at the ability to not be able to B-hop through it faster, which I think is an overall good change. Ooh, Indy gonna wall off the telly, saying I think they're gonna come in here. There is one tap. Not gonna find a kill with the Vandal Spray. Gets taken out by Delusion's Sheriff of all things. The smoke gets popped outside of Hookah as some are coming through the telly, but it's walled off. Spratty with another Sheriff kill. Finding Capo there, going to be a huge pick onto that Cypher. Flux sneakily taking that orb right before they plant, and that is going to be Nation getting it into the long plant right there. Only 2 up for the defenders right there. 1 in CT going to be called, the other one behind in Hookah, also known. Shouldn't only be a matter of time before we see this round end.
Using her C4 packs to detonate and give her a little bit of an elevated advantage. Couple of headshots coming out here, and oh, double kill going down to Pretty. Very pretty, very beautiful shots here being landed. Does rotate through, has to take one more. A triple kill going to the Phoenix player as he rotates and tries to take back the site. Couple of smoke screens do come down from Tuwak, and it does look like he may be able to control this down. Cypher is the last man left on that red team, and might he be able to take this out? No! Delusion is removed, eliminated by Tuwak, and the spike is defused for a 3rd round going to, I believe, Treehud.
Marvin's right.
Marvin's Fedora.
And that was an absolutely beautiful play by Pretty there. First kill got there, a little bit lucky, spray headshot through the smoke, but able to pick up a 2nd and a 3rd very quickly right after that. Things kind of stabilized a bit in the 2v2. Came up with a 4th, and then Tuwak came in, cleaned up Delusion in Hookah right there as the defuse goes on. And one thing I do want to say, I mentioned this was my first time casting. We as casters cannot see the defuse bar, so interesting note there. So
I'm sure they'll
a
have a
little bit
full spectator
difficult.
mode for us.
Oh yeah, by release I would hope, but
I'm
interesting
sure they
interesting
will.
note.
But yes, it is something that we have to deal with. However, talking about dealing with the current situation, hot hands from Phoenix being put down over by the hooker, Shisha, and just trying to make sure no one is hanging around the corner. More hot hands from Pretty as well, going into the shower.
Yeah, and we've been seeing some pretty slow play. No real quick executes have come out yet from either of these teams, going down to at least a minute generally before anything happens. I think we saw a raise grenade come out from B long. Or was that even? That may have been an ult, actually. I think it was. Yeah, it looks like Flux had ulted. Lots of pressure now coming into B as the Boombot kind of clear out Cubby. Sees the tripwire, holding close, doesn't want to shoot it yet to give away that positioning. One of those reasons Cypher can be so good is that whether or not they run into the tripwire or destroy it, you know where someone is. But again, only 39 seconds left. Still no real action out yet from either of these teams.
See, I'm not too sure if it makes a difference, but does using a knife on the Cypher tripwire actually make a difference with whether or not you are detected? I know it makes less of a sound, but
so if you walk through the tripwire, he'll see you, right? But if you destroy it, he gets the notification that a tripwire was destroyed, and because they show up as objects on that map, then, you know, you'll be able to tell, hey, someone destroyed my tripwire outside of long. Whether or not that's with a gun or a knife, you know, obviously the gun's going to give away more sound, but you still know someone shot it. While we were talking about that, the execute, though, did come in onto A. Really no frags to be found, one player on the defense going down, but otherwise it's going to be a pretty quick defuse. And I feel like that's kind of the risk of waiting so long to go for that push, is that you really say, okay, you're laying all your cards down on the table. We're going to have to go A at this point, so everyone on the defending team able to rotate into that and just, you know, hold down the angles and get a really clean round. Plant did go down, so a little bit of extra money for the attackers, but other than that, that is Tree Hard on the right, I believe, having a little bit of struggle after some early success.
So, just to talk about the economy for a second, just so we can go over things, I believe a win, a round win results in 3,000 gold, right? And
Yes.
then every kill is 200, and
Correct.
whether you lose, and depending on your lose streak, it goes anywhere between 1,900 to 2,900 or something like that, right?
Right, and a spike plant is 300 for the attacking team. Interesting to note, too, is that in Counter-Strike, a bomb plant after the round was already over didn't actually give you any money. In Valorant, it does, so it's always good to get that bomb down, because additionally, not only can you get ult points towards picking up the orbs, getting kills, and dying, but planting and defusing gives you ult points as well. So we unfortunately don't have access to the scoreboard through our casting right here, but something you may see, you know, kind of develop, and teams are probably already doing, is say that you get 2 kills early on a site and you have a clean plant, you'll give the spike to people who want to get their ult up faster, so maybe maybe like a Sage or a Phoenix type that have really valuable ults to help them get it up faster. And same thing with defuses, you know, instead of just doing the counters like, oh, I got the last kill, so I'm gonna take the defuse. You say, okay, if we have time to defuse it, who, you know, if you have ult, you're not going to defuse it. If you're, you know, farther away, maybe you're not going to take it, but that person at 5 out of 6 on their, you know, Brimstone ult probably want that. So something else to look for. Unfortunately, we won't be able to commentate on it as much, but definitely a really, I think, kind of quiet but impactful part of the game.
Yeah, these things do really add up, and it does add a lot of complexity and depth to the game as well. If you look at a lot of other games, most other games other than Counter-Strike don't have an economy, right? Especially when it's passing on tasks and roles to agents and, you know, characters that already have tasks and roles assigned to them. Giving someone the spike to defuse or to plant really does make a lot of difference in how that one character can play, or how efficiently they may contribute to the rest of the team. So these kind of things really do add up, and it actually makes a very, very big impact on how a team can really control any site depending on what weapons, what abilities they do have access to and can purchase in every round.
Yeah, and I mean another thing too is that the kill rewards in this game are not the same as they were in Counter Strike either. Since we keep drawing parallels to it, I think because of how similar the games are and how easy it can be to take inspiration from one to the other. So we don't see those things where if you can get those shotgun kills, they're going to give you that $900 as opposed to 300. Now it's just 200 for a kill, with regardless of what you get. So it is another thing to kind of play into with your econ, where you think, okay, in Counter Strike, if you're on like a half buy, maybe you get that you get a MP9. As it looks like we have one player AFK right here. I believe that's the Sage on Marvin's Fedora, not yet moving. See the round, see a pause going in right here as our cameraman's getting us a close up on Phoenix's handsome face. Yes, without a doubt. Ooh, look at that earring! Look at that earring right there. Right. So I believe what's happening here is that sometimes if you've played the game, you'll see it, is that if a player disconnects, the game will give them some time to get back in. Normally this will happen at the beginning of a round where players will spawn in, they'll be able to shoot their pistols but nothing else. They'll be frozen in spawn until then. I believe we're seeing something similar right here, but our producers aren't too sure of what's going on right here. Yeah, the players can all still move, so I think it's just waiting again for Sage to reconnect. If a certain amount of time passes, I believe the round will just start anyway, but we'll have to wait for this right here. But let's talk about while we have this downtime, let's use that, right? Talk about how the game's been going so far, since we saw that really close pistol round come out from the start. And that was Treehard able to take that there. They ended up losing the kills, but got the bomb to go off in time. Had a very clean second round, the Flux coming in with that ace, but since then, it has been nothing but Marvin's Fedora. We've seen some slow pushes, some kind of standard executes with the smokes coming in, but, Ian, what are you looking for? What are you looking for Treehard to really be able to pull off here to just try to get some rounds on the board?
I feel like they need a very coordinated and very aggressive push. I don't see much flanking, or if there is flanks being maximized, utilized, or even like capitalized on by Marvin's Fedora. Oh no, Tree Hug, right hand side. But yeah, by the
Tree
red
Hard's
team.
on the right.
Yeah, by Tree Hud. If there is a flank being capitalized on, we don't get this. We haven't really been able to see it. However, I do feel that if they can get the jump on the defending team, they should be able to capitalize on it quite well. I don't see, the thing is, on the attacking team, I'm not sure why you would want to pick a Cypher. I understand Cypher is a very, very useful agent. He's got information. He provides information, and information is your weapon in this game, right? Provides you intel, and you can use that intel to execute a plan of attack. However, on an attack, you might not want someone so stationary and passive if you're trying to take on a team that already is most likely going to use Cypher. Obviously, we can't go back and switch out characters. This isn't a game where you can do that. But I feel like maybe instead of the Cypher, we could have had Breach. Breach would have been fantastic. But conversely, Breach is on that defense. I suppose they picked the Cypher up for the swap over when they go onto defense, but I feel like he really needs to be on that flank if he is, but I see him very paired up with a lot of the other agents as they try to take a lot of these sites. I just feel it's not as aggressive as it should be, and I feel like they're not really capitalizing on a lot of the map. You see that the defending team is always and fairly spread out, one person on every site at any time, whereas the attackers usually start to funnel in towards one site, but don't really capitalize on any big flanks.
Right, yeah. And one thing I do want to talk about what you're mentioning about Cypher is that this is a custom game, so both teams should be able to see what's going on, in the game. Or, what side they're starting on is really what I meant to say, but that's something you don't have the privilege of doing when you're just kind of going through matchmaking. So this game is fairly CT-sided right now. The meta could develop. We may see that change over time, but right now all the maps are fairly CT-sided. Split, I believe the map with the ropes is the most kind of egregious of this, where it's, think about old, like, pre-rework Nuke in Counter-Strike, where out of the 12 rounds, if you can get, like, 3 to 4, you're in a pretty good spot for what, we've been seeing of the early meta developing on that map. But in general, you do want to play around defense. So even though they're starting on offense, picking Cypher then, you can still maybe see why, because they want to play towards that defense. He's not the worst on offense for how much he can bring on defense either, with the cameras kind of being a free peek. He's got tripwires that can watch flanks, and he's got the smokes that can block things off. But the tripwires only work out when you're playing aggressive and getting into sites. They're playing so passively that, there's no time for anyone on Marvin's Fedora to get behind them, because they just rotate into sight the normal way and just say, all right, you're leaving yourselves 20 seconds to push every time. Unlike in Counter-Strike, maybe, where you can kind of take more aim fights. In this game, I feel like you need to be a little more precise with your utility usage. Get those picks ahead of time. Get in and get people on site because of how easy it can be to retake. But I feel like if they just, you said you want to see that aggression coming out of them, and I'm hard agree on that, where I don't want to see them run down the clock every round. Even though they may be looking for picks, I don't think it's been working the past few rounds.
Yeah, so having said that, I also feel that, like you said, it is a very while it is like Counter-Strike in all due respect, because that is where it's been inspired, that is the inspiration to which Valorant came from. It also draws on a lot from other MOBA games, where you do have abilities, you do have unique characters, and it is sort of like a battle arena. So using that utility, like you said, is going to be key. How they can use the more passive agents on their team to be able to capitalize on and take advantage of on this attack, namely right now just Cypher, because the rest of them are pretty aggressive, I have to say. Sage is a hard stuck support, but it's still pretty aggressive, considering
Especially with how you can, use that wall and use those slow
absolutely.
fields to just lock off areas can be really big, especially on this map too,
Yep.
where I want to see some more play coming out towards A short, as I think we saw them in that last round kind of go for a last minute, all right, let's run up A short, see what we can do, but maybe work around it a little bit better, because the other thing too is that they've got 4 ults on the attacking team. You can see... I don't remember what the exact defense we've been seeing Marvin's run is, but normally I think they've got that Breach playing near... When I play Breach a lot personally, and from what I've heard, that him playing in that U-Hauls or Lamps room is really powerful, because he can kind of, flash out of there, tremor down mid. If they try to push up, that Breach ult is going to absolutely roll them kind of in that narrow choke area. But
you're right.
Regardless of who plays there, you lead that off with a Brimstone ult. Because if they're kind of playing close in that corner, then they have nowhere to go in that. They're either running out into your team, or they're just going to get obliterated by the laser. You get one person down, Brimstone then smokes off heaven, smokes off close, you get sight in, wall it off, and suddenly you're 5v4 holding on to it. What we're hearing right now is that because of the I believe that Sage disconnecting, the one who's still AFK in T-spawn, you guys can probably see it in chat right there. They might reset this game. We'll keep you guys updated on what's going on with that. But again, it's just, you want to use those ults. Or alternatively, you could try doing something B, have that Phoenix pop his ult, run in, get info on what's going on, maybe run into a tripwires, clear those out, get some smokes pop, shoot the camera. Whether or not he gets a kill, it doesn't really matter. Because you have that power sitting there in those ultimates, and the more... obviously, when you don't want to waste an ult, right? You don't want to just use an ult and get no value out of it. But when you're... They're in a spot right now where they've lost 4 rounds in a row. They do have loss bonus, but ever since those pistol rounds, there hasn't, the rounds it feels like have gotten further and further away from them. So you don't want to continuously lose rounds when you have things that could be getting you advantages.
Absolutely. You look at the gun economy as well. We saw it for a quick second, but it did look like the attacking team did just have a whole bunch of Vandals. Now, I'm not sure if that's exactly something that's leading into their current position, where they are at a loss, where a lot of them are playing more full automatic weapons as opposed to playing precision snipers, ops, anything of the sort. However, I feel like maybe they need maybe they need to pull back on a lot of the big spends because Vandals aren't cheap.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's so difficult though because it feels like if you're not running a Vandal or a Phantom a lot of the time, you're not going to be in a very good position in a gunfight. I mean, if you want to play specific angles, right, maybe you can run a Bucky or a Judge. But, you know, the Spectre I feel like is just a straight downgrade. And they've got enough loss bonus that I don't know too much if the weapon choices are going. But, oh, it looks like we are back in, finally. Sage is moving in that CT spawn. So after all that, we'll have to see what they're going to do. I see Spike outside of A short right there as Sage is getting back in on site. Going to see some smokes go off outside of bathrooms, but still some slow play coming out of the defense, or offense, excuse me, looking to see if maybe they can find some picks, but might want to go a little bit faster if they want to flip the script on these more recent rounds.
Yeah, so one of them just keeping an eye on the teleporter, but as they're trying to push into the bathrooms, one does rotate out back onto A, trying to now take an angle on, I believe, this little room here. Oh, through the smoke. Cypher gets taken out there. Tuok.
Good
Very
shot.
nice. Nation
As we say that,
Tazi as well. Pops the ultimate, pulls back a little bit, doesn't get to pull off the grenade launcher. A couple of smokes do go down. I think Bomb Buddy is out as well, tracking someone, perhaps. Spike goes down. Planted. One more gets taken out. 3-3 right now. One in the bathroom. Tremor gets put off.
Breach ult coming out across site. Capo gonna find a second. Pretty coming back in with another right there. It is only Flux in bathroom right there. And oh, one tap in heaven with the operator. Gonna take her out. Capo getting that defuse in. But I mean, that was such a better start that we saw for Treehard right there. You know, we saw Tuak landing a crazy shot through. I want to say that was through smoke. There might have been a little bit that Delusion's head was peeking out of, but we saw the Phoenix ult come out. You know, got 2 kills with it, really, or got 1 kill and then baited someone else into dying. They got the bomb down with, I believe, a player ad, and it was just good play from Marvin's Fedora that got it back there, but, you know, you get those ults and play a little bit more aggressively and good things are going to happen.
Okay, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, the little diagonal Cypher tripwire. I've seen some crazy tripwires. I want to say you can do one where a lot of Cyphers will put their tripwires, you know, in the dropout from hookah, but I think you can put it, like, so you know how there's the... Ooh! What a shot. Actually, I think that might have been 2 people there headshotting, but Flux going to land that 1D with the Sheriff. Going to get that grenade into sight. 2 peeking from Cubby, not going to land the kill onto him, but Pretty takes out Nation, I think on a collat even. As we're going to see that evened out quickly, but now still 4 ults on the attacker's side. Very little health, though. Tazi going to take out 2 of them in quick timing. Indy trades that again. The full Sheriff buy, it looked like, coming out and getting the res in. Still no bomb plant, though, as they're rotating back towards A. Someone's in a really good position. We can't see the icons on the mini-maps, waiting to meet them in A short. Want to say that's probably Tuok. But Flux with the operator flank going to turn it around. I don't know if they know he's there or not. Maybe heading back towards B, smells something in the water, or maybe they had a gunfight, we couldn't see. But rotating a bit back towards B, so...
Does look like they are trying to convene that way. One rotating up through the very far end, one in B window here, just trying to push through. Oh, sees the head of the Cypher. Cypher lands one down, but they know exactly where he is. Gets a little bit more information. They know exactly where they're coming from. All the rotations are coming back. Everyone rotating off A right onto site. Might be able to land one shot, headshot through here. Maybe not.
Can they get Spike down? Oh, there comes the Brimstone ult. The laser gonna take out Indy. Spike not gonna be going down right there. Way too far from the site. And despite, you know, a pretty good result for having started that with only Sheriffs for Treehard, you know, bunch of kills coming through there. Almost got Spike down, and if it wasn't for that Brimstone ult, you know, they may have taken that back, but as is great usage of the ult, you know, pretty textbook just using it to deny the plan, especially in such a late round scenario, but some good things in the work right now for Treehard that feels like they're just like 1 or 2 kills maybe away from really being able to start turning those into rounds.
Yeah, Treehard maybe doing better on that defense later on as they swap over. Right now, we are seeing them still on attack, just pushing up right now, and oof, rotating up here. No immediate headshots coming out this way, but Tuok with a double kill on the other side of the map does manage it. Defense
two
full city
quick
toasty.
kills coming out. He must have pushed up there. They died pretty far back into that kind of connector area between A and B. Bazaar, I think I've heard it called a couple times, or Market. So a really aggro peak, but works out for him there. Could have maybe been punished for it. Getting a little bit antsy on that defense, maybe. We've been seeing the slow play. Maybe it's getting to him, but... Ooh. There is Flux. Ooh, dodging the op shot. Still going to toss that nade in, but Capo picks up another 2 in Hookah. There goes down Spike, and it is just Flux up now in a 1v5. Probably going to look to save right here. Yeah, rotating back towards T-spawn. May see a quiet 45 seconds, or maybe not, as it looks like there's going to be some contact. Great headshot onto Tazzy, but there's definitely going to know his position now. Gonna, jump at the Phoenix. Bad timing. Going to be taken down, so... able to get 1 kill, but other than that, very dominating round from Marvin's Fedora.
He almost had that. Almost. Not really, but it did look quite promising. Had something in mind. Unfortunately, just couldn't execute it. And the defense were just very, very onto it. Very aggressive start as well. I feel like the attackers just aren't having too much fun. We'll see if it's gonna carry over after they swap sides, but right now seems very one-sided and it doesn't look good.
I want to throw a little bit of shade at, I believe Spratty is the Brimstone player on offense right now, for just not having ulted yet. It's only a 6-charge ult, so he had it very quickly into the game, and it can be so good for pushing if you just drop it somewhere, where they've been playing. If you just ult U-Hauls on A, that's a very easy, either you get the kill or you force them out and get the ground. Pretty, though, gonna take out Delusion, getting a little bit greedy around that bathroom orb, gonna go down. So another opening kill for the defenders makes this so much easier, and they are spread out here again, but feels like other than that one round we saw them take onto A, haven't seen too much of kind of a concerted push yet from them at not 20 seconds remaining.
A lot of rotations going towards B side now. They are hanging around Toasty. Couple of defenders around that side. Maybe some rotations.
Looks like he heard me. Ult's going to come down. There is the orbital cannon going in. Not going to hit anything onto Cubby. They are going to see one tap playing in CT spawn through that. It looks like Spratty, I don't know where he is right there. Doesn't know where he is either. Going to get hit by the breach tremor. But 2 frags being traded back, and there is another one coming out. The attackers not finding too much ground into this B bomb site, and Pretty getting a third one as Nation tries to drop out. It is just Sage up right now. Indy going to find one, get a second, but Pretty going to land his own 4K. I think that's the second one he's gotten, not yet at Flux's ace, but making a name for himself as the top fragger in this game.
He's doing a fantastic job so far, honestly. Quite startled at how efficient he's been and how often we've seen his name. Especially, I'm not especially surprised because he's playing a character like Phoenix who has just so much utility and so much survivability in his package, in his pocket. But having said that, 8-2 right now towards the defenders.
Well, look at
Wall
this aggro
goes
push up A short.
Very, very aggressive.
Yeah, wall going. They're pushing directly into Bazaar. That is a 3-man train. Maybe they've sniffed out Treeheart's kind of tendency to lurk outside this B long. That Tremor's going to hit too. And here comes the first peek outside of Bazaar right there. Are they going to find anyone? Not quite. Oh, no. Sprat able to take out Tazi. Doesn't know that there's still 2 behind, though. And this could be a very bad situation for them in long. Or it could be great if they are able to sniff them out right there. 4 people or 3 people in long. 2 going to drop out of Hookah. 1 tap spotted over by Elbow. Flash comes out. Finds Spratty. Indy not yet able to drop down. He gets Delusion. Flux going to go down as well. The flank coming in, it looks like, pretty thoroughly. As, just that slow play kind of biting them in the back again. 9-2 right now for Marvin's Fedora. As they are putting themselves in a very good position to win this game.
The defenders going on the aggressive push to actually bring in a flank. Crazy. And then they even split up to attack both the hookah room and garden at the same time. A fantastic decision from the defenders to actually bite them in the back and actually take control over that situation. I honestly felt like it could have crumbled really, really hard if the attackers caught onto them. And oh my gosh, a lot of action going down right down mid there does look like one being taken out there. Indy and Tazzy getting taken out by Pretty and Spratty.
And I
Rotations
mean, the
coming through as well.
basic CS rule of defending is that if you die on CT side, you probably want to take 2 out with you. Not always going to be possible, but we see Nation getting this Phoenix ult very deep in, going to be taken out by Pretty playing in U-Haul, but they know he's there right now. Raise Grenade's going to lock him out, but there comes the laser. Is there a corner for Nation? There is! Just a slight spot for him to survive. There is the breach ult coming out. Pretty's gonna land one onto Spratty. Gets the flash onto Nation. Go down with the spray. Perfect headshot from Nation. Knew exactly what was going on there. We are in a 2v2. Slight health add to the defenders right there. One tap gonna give away his position with that breach tremor. But the spike is deep in on B already. They do not. They're a little bit behind this on Treeheart's side. Gonna go down. That tripwire actually dazing Flux while he gets that down, but. Capo gonna take a bullet from that blind spray. The rocket launcher comes out!
Wow.
Gonna take out Capo behind there. Nation gets the kill. And in the last round of the attacking half, we see Treeheart able to pull it back together, break that 9-round win streak that Marvin's Fedora had going on, and give themselves a little extra breathing room on this defensive half.
Crazy aggressive play coming up from Raze. I loved that rocket jump as well. Fantastic play. Having said that, now that we have the swap coming, how are we feeling with Raze on that defense? Is it going to be harder for them to defend?
Well,
or are we going to see a flip on the roles? I mean, we could see the defenders go on a very aggressive push again. I'd like to see that from them. I don't think that. I like that offensive, that push we saw out of them that round, specifically because it wasn't just maybe a textbook play that they do, but it was a reaction where they said, okay, these guys are waiting a minute to a minute and a half every round. They are not getting aggressive. They're not rushing something. If we push up, we're either going to find immediate contact or we're going to get a big flank on them. We're going to be able to kind of pinch them in and stop them from rotating. So I don't know if we're going to see it this early. Flux, that Raze you mentioned, is playing on the back of A, which is a good spot for kind of a fragger to play, where you don't need as much util there as you might on B. Purdy's gonna see Nation on the back of B site, throw that molly over, maybe try to get some just harass damage on him, lower him a bit, but not too much else going on right here. Grouping outside of Hookah, we have all 5 on the B half of the map right now, though it doesn't look like the A defenders are 100% aware of that, as hopefully we'll see a push coming in shortly. Definitely some peeking going on from Hookah and from Long, but there's 1, 2 through the B telly, heading back towards A, and look at the flood of defenders running all the way back through spawn. The wall's still in A short right there, gonna stall them, and it looks like they are gonna be met with a 5-on-5 on B right here. A lot of footsteps going down. Spike, plant initiated, and successful. Rotates all around the side there. Does look like a couple of shots are going down. Blind. But only 2 members on the attacking team. Doesn't look good for them. Sage being the last one left. Don't know exactly where she is.
She's nowhere near.
She's on the other side of the map.
B, if someone's defusing this round is over. I don't know what Tauzi was doing that far over. Not going to be able to saving a classic. Didn't even buy a sheriff or something. That was just that seems to be that's definitely a bit of a misplay right there. Unfortunate.
Definitely expect the Sage to be with maybe more aggressive operators and agents actually pushing onto site, but being that far by yourself that late into the game, really questionable.
Yeah, I mean, with Sage's kit, you kind of want her to be baiting a little bit, right? She's not the type of person you want to entry because she can heal people that do, res them, make sure you have that wall in and slows to get site control, but that's taking the baiting a little bit too far, I think. But in terms of the match overall, a good development for Treehard, definitely able to take that 4th round. Hopefully, if things go well, they'll be able to take this 5th one, as it looks like Marvin's Fedoras is on a save round. I see a bunch of ghosts right now, not much else. Flux able to get a quick kill onto Pretty, shut him down early. Always a good thing to see. One tap going to take a little bit of damage as well in a trade, reconfirming where Flux is. Tuwok landing a kill, though, back onto Nation in that front of B. Looks like Spike should go down, but it's a little bit behind in Hookah. Delusion taking out 2 on the Bulldog, echoed back out by Tazi, but 2 for 1 is fine on the defense. Spike is going to go down, but we've got all 3 of them coming in through CT. Flux taking out Tazi means that one tap, he's iced out. Unfortunate positioning for him. So they get the Spike down there, which, on a after a pistol round loss is going to get you that econ. They got 2 kills, which was good too, but this could be the start of a comeback.
They are catching up. 4 rounds off now. It does look like it's starting to look a little bit better. But will they be able to make it happen? Fluxux is the man of the hour for this team. And, I mean, he could. We've seen him do some crazy things. Unsure, though.
Although I do think it's worth noting that pistol round and second round, both we've seen those are 4 of the rounds that that Treehard have right here. They've only won 1 gun round so far, so it's really gonna be telling whether or not it was just kind of an attacking side of thing, or if it's just a gun round kind of thing where sometimes you've got people better with those eco weapons, better with those bulldogs and those specters. But Delusion gonna see at least 1 player outside of Hookah right here. 2 of them actually with that spike, spamming it with the Sheriff. As he should be able to buy. Not sure what that Sheriff is about right there, but 3 pushing up long right there. Capo getting with a bit of an aggressive peek and one even further in. Oh, great shot onto Delusion, backing out of Hookah. Maybe wanted to stay in there for the safety it would have provided him, but rotates all coming out through CT. No flankers at all. As Spike not yet down on sight, we see 1 flanking around through elbow. Maybe we're going to try to get that pincer action in a bit, but Spike should be going down in a second. And with another one having gone down, it's going to be difficult for Treehard to get back in here.
Looks like they are rotating around for that flank. 3 on 5 right now. It doesn't look good for Treehard as they push through. A couple of shots come out. Indy trying to break on that wall.
Ooh, the counter boost going to come out, I think. Oh, no, they got it. Ooh. Flux going to take out 1, though, but Tuak trades it right back onto Indy and Spratty right there. Flux backing out, going to save that Spectre. Doesn't look like any of the players on Treehard actually upgraded their weapons there, even after they won that second round. Oh, going to find 1 onto Pretty. Almost took out 1 tap. I think I saw some bullets go into him there. Can't exactly see his health on my own screen. I think that's something on my end, though. But, yeah, I don't think any of them upgraded there, which, they won the first 2 rounds. I've heard some CS players call that third round a bonus round, where, you save it for the econ to not spend your money. If you win it, awesome. If you lose it, you have a buyer on the next round. But when you're down that many rounds, I feel like you might have wanted to upgrade there. You kind of got to risk it for the biscuit.
Definitely would have been worth it. I'm not sure if they can afford to lose too many.
Delusion having a Sheriff into a full team of Vandals and Phantoms is not a recipe for success right there.
I mean, risk it for the biscuit, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he's saving up for something very, very special. I'm not too sure.
But this is that aggro play that you want to see. Tuak getting very aggressive up a short right there. Finding a kill onto Flux, kind of the heart and soul so far we've seen. Spratty going to equalize that back out onto Tazi, though. That coming through bathrooms, it looks like. As he had gotten aggro. I think they're to pick up that orb, maybe? Only ult on the board right now is the Brimstone ult, so we may see Tuak pop that off soon. Smoke's going to come back down to cover up the hole in that wall, I think. No, maybe not. Molly coming out on the back of sight as it looks like there's more pressure being dedicated towards A short. Illusion in on the rotate will be in a good spot to help deny this. Indy takes out 1 tap. Believe that's playing close by U-Haul. So Spike gonna go down. And just the spray coming out onto Tuak. He's in a 1v4. He will go down.
Spratty not too lucky on those last few shots down the long angle. But did manage to take out the one in the shower. Good round going to Tree Hug. So, I mean, Maverin's Fedora is still 3 rounds off that win.
Yeah, and winning a gun round there is going to be big, just for the confidence it'll give them and saying, hey, if we have guns and we're playing our defensive right, we can, kind of hold these guys. Tuak and Pretty especially were making a lot of noise in that first half. They were able to take him out pretty early and just, say, hey, look, we can fight these guys. And mental is such a big part, of video games that you almost never see. And there's Capo blowing a smoke early. Bit of a misclick. I've done that on Cypher myself. As, Yeah, but, just gonna have to see if they can kind of pull that off again. Lots of players grouped up outside of Hookah. This may be a save rush is what it looks like. Flux, though, taking out Tuak early on, kind of showing dominance right there as all 4 of now are conga lining into Hookah. That Tripwire is going to go off to let Nation and Delusion, I believe, know that they're in there. The smoke gets popped. Here comes out the molly. They're flooding out very quickly, knowing that that push has been denied. But blowing all the util means they may have it again in the future.
5v4 now. Spike on the Sage. Might not be doing too well. One down, one tap gets taken by Delusion. A couple of shots go out there as well. The slow is down behind Delusion. Won't be able to move too much.
He's iced on the molly.
Yeah,
he go down to that?
He didn't take too much damage. He didn't take too much damage. I think he was just outside the area of effect. Oh no,
pretty though.
On Indy.
Big flank. Yeah, that CT player going down is going to be really big, but unfortunately, that's all he's going to get. Nation coming in with the 3K saying, hey, I can get multi-kills on Defense Phoenix too. As that gap just closing a little bit closer every round. But
losing your Sage isn't ideal. I mean, especially... I haven't seen a revive come out, but I mean, we haven't seen a revive in general. I'm not too sure if he's used it.
There's been a couple come out, but it really hasn't... It's been to kind of get those people that get picked early. I don't think we've really seen any of those kind of like super high impact, oh, Sage is in a 1v1, but then she reses someone and now it's a 2v1 kind of situation. But 4 offenses, or 4 alts for the attacking team, including that Brimstone alt and the Breach alt, both of which can be used to a lot of effect. A double push up long, it looks like.
Oh no.
One tap gonna find Delusion there really early on, so there he goes. Getting that quick kill in right there. The breeze, it looks like the rotates coming out of A right here. One pushing up bathrooms though, and oh, gonna be found out. Spratty takes out Pretty there, trying to get cheeky with that rotate, and there's only one alive on the attacking team though right now. So Delusion's early death not going to be in vain, as another quick round coming through from Treehard, really pulling him back on the defense here.
The Nation's doing quite well, if you ask me. He's landing those shots, he's holding those key positions. Pretty interested to see if they will be able to keep this up. They're closing that gap, like you said. It's 8 to 10 now. Doesn't look like Maverick's Fedora has had too much of a chance to really capitalize on the swap. And they haven't made any progress ever since, if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely does not really seem like that. Delusion getting aggro again. Goes for a little spray, but no one's even going to be there. Breach charge. Ooh, coming through over the wall, looking for that boost spot. But Flux finds one tap with the grenades. Where was that? It was close, up in short. So that defender's advantage really coming in there. You're asking if Flux would be okay on that raise on defense, and it looks like he's doing just fine.
Oh no, misses a couple of shots, tries to turn tail, but will be caught on that rotation. Pretty taking out Spratty in the showers. Bomb Buddy goes right in. Raze throwing in that rocket as well.
Got the
pick
AoE!
Up the kill on Pretty with the AoE. Doesn't land too many shots through the box there. Does land the next shot on the 2-walk though, after he picks up a little bit of revenge for his buddy there. And another one from Flux sucks on the capo.
But the res came out in bathroom, so they should know that both of them are in there. The grenade gonna come out, bounced off a little bit too far, bailing out of bathrooms. The spike is down in A short, which is important here. It does not allow them to kind of get that free rotate into B. We do see one of the defenders going over there just as a kind of courtesy rotate, but with that spike still in A short, they're gonna have to find it and get it first, but knowing not on A, we see another defender coming back into heaven. Ooh, Tazi going to get caught out on that peak right there. Take a little bit of damage. Heals himself back up. 10, 12 seconds. Illusion takes out Pretty. Nation's going to take out Tazi. And we are 1 round away from a tie game.
Actually crazy the way this game has been progressing. Now that they've swapped sides, it does look like Treehard are actually making quite the comeback. In addition to that, I'm not sure if the Sage play on that last round was exactly the best. Obviously, saw the raise from the backside.
At the time of the res, it went from a 3v2 to a 3v3, so I think that was fine, kind of in theory. It's just unfortunate that as the res was going off, the other player, I don't remember who that was, got caught out in A short though. So unfortunate, but a tripwire going to go off really early in Hookah right there. That is Pretty, I believe, getting hit by that. Another one there, though, and there's the Breach ult coming out of long, going to barely clip Nation on the side. But Delusion takes out 2. I don't believe he was hit by that. The molly goes off into Hookah to kind of cover him on that end. And despite the ults coming out, as it looks like Phoenix ult went out during that as well, may have been sprayed down by Delusion there as well, but the ult's not going to end up getting them too much of anything, really.
Tuok pushing up, taking the forefront here. Is trying to get aggressive. Has 2 of his teammates right behind him, carrying Spike. A lot of the members on the defense will be on B. A is, I want to say, free for the taking, but I'm not too sure if they're going to be able to get this through.
With the player in Heaven, A is never really free unless you can kind of win that aim fight. As the rotates come back in, though, there's still 2 over in B long waiting to telly the second they hear something. Flux gonna land the kill onto Tuok. That's a big name going off the board. Spike being dropped as well. No. Oh, and there's Delusion coming through the telly, finding Pretty in spawn. Gonna hit a tripwire really far back, actually. But Flux takes out Tazi going for that spike, and we are all tied up at 10. Treehard 6-1 on defense, as we can see, or 7-1 actually, as we see the scoreboard kind of come up right there. Flux 11 kills up on the next person on his team, 4 kills over Pretty, and just, I mean, you got your duelist at the top of the score. You got your duelist at the top of the scoreboard. That's exactly kind of how you want these things to turn out. Getting those frags with the abilities that they have. I mean, you know, you kind of see the same thing in CS type games as well. You know, your IGL generally is never going to be as high up on the scoreboard, but if everyone's doing their job, that's really all you need. Delusion goes for these aggro cams out of Hookah as well. We've been seeing him do that. I feel like that maybe could be something that could be exploited with a Brimstone ulti, perhaps, but I don't even know if they know about it. So something
definitely
to maybe
a lot of combinations that
can
come up from that. We can only expect to see crazier combinations as we go through the games today. A lot of pushes coming out onto A. 1 player in Heaven, 1 right behind the actual A site. Does look like 1 is pushing up against B, 1 to 2, quite patiently, quite slowly, but Tuok here will be trying to put down a little bit of smoke as that wall gets put down as well. Brimstone putting a couple of shots through the wall, will be trying to give a little bit of cover for the rest of his team. But there we go, that ultimate won't land on anyone just yet, but will clear the site for them. 1 in Heaven though, 2 in Heaven.
They see a counter ult coming back in. Oh, there it goes right onto the plant spot. That will delay the plant. Excellent usage of that. And it's going to force 3 people into sightlines right there. Great ult coming out of Spratty, even if One Tap is true to his name on him afterwards. But only 2 alive right there. One Tap going to pick up, I believe that's a 3rd onto Indy right there, or a 2nd onto Indy. He's almost dead, though. 1 bullet going to be enough to take him out. Bomb goes off. He gets shot in the back. Flux shouldn't have too much problem teaming up with Nation to take out Pretty. And there is Treehard going as far down as being out 2 to 9, I believe. Now, back in the lead.
A comeback for the books. Definitely looking to see if they can keep this up and land themselves another 2 rounds to secure that win. As we can see on the scoreboard here, that defense side is just very stacked. And it's all down to literally sticking together and sort of like keeping that mental game, like you said, honestly, strong, solid, and together. It's not easy to do that, even though you're swapping to defense after taking that many rounds on a loss.
You know what to do.
Yeah, and I want to say that last round that Treehard was able to take on offense might kind of be the round to look at here, as it just said, hey, you know what? We can beat these guys. It's just a CT sided map. We'll be fine. They take the 2 pistol rounds, maybe have a bit of a gaff losing that kind of bonus round, but it ended up being just that, right? A bonus round. You know, you had a Sheriff into... Delusion's Sheriff was getting rushed by 5 Vandals. He's not going to win that, but they get guns in, and they've won pretty much every round since. So, only the Cypher ulti available right here for the attackers, because that's really what we want to look for to kind of maybe stop these streaks, is get a pick with them or, you know, some kind of other good play. Pretty going to be seen pushed up a short by the boxes. Spike's heading towards that as well right now. Flash going to come out, though, to help stall him. A interesting wall positioning. I'm not sure where that is. Just saw a clip of it through U-Hauls, maybe to block off that flank, but believe we saw trade kills going out on B. That's going to force out the rotates from both teams, knowing that there's 1 less player there. 2 people staying on A, too, so this will be a 4v2 temporarily. Pretty going to go in with the flash, leading the charge. Gets flash back out, but the Cypher ulti going to reveal everyone's positions. Trade kills right there, the Phoenixes, as the spike still not down, should be down in a second. Site positioning clearly in the hand of Marvin's Fedora. Maybe looking to answer back here, not let this game get any more out of hand. And there's the flank, though, coming in from Tazzy. Huge spray with the Bulldog. It is only now Indy left in.
Wow.
Ruka gonna land. Ooh, good shot with the Vandal right there, though. Knows someone's in Cubby. Doesn't maybe have the ability to force them out, though, yet. Gonna have to drop down here. That definitely made a sound. There is one tap with the spray. Indy able to take him out, but not fast enough. Capo's Guardian coming back in with that, and we see those attackers snag one round in towards the end, tied up all the way back at 11.
How close is this game now? I mean, this game was so far one-sided like 5 rounds ago. Now it's literally neck to neck. They're taking rounds off each other as we go into the last 2 rounds available. It's anyone's game at this point, and I really feel like I feel like Treehard can bring this back in for themselves. But at the same time, Maverin's Fedora, they're still in the game, and they still have a pretty strong opportunity available for them to actually secure this win. And a very aggressive camera coming up, the illusion does get taken out there, so he does lose that, but it does give him a little bit of information that there are some players on that attack pushing into Garden.
Right, yeah, and I mean, a bit of a maybe slower play right here. We had seen a ton of kills getting traded back and forth for a ton of rounds there, but maybe the slower play is a little bit more in favor of the attackers right here. Because, you know, we saw them finally get that round last time. The flash going to come out, peeks from B long, not going to see anything, as some fairly defensive play on B right there. There is the breach ult coming out, hit someone on site, not sure who that is, but we also see a Phoenix ult coming out. Jokesova, there he is, the man himself, gonna run in, get the kill onto Capo. Pretty going down right there, as the defenders are 5 men alive. They dropped a round there, but they're saying that was only a fluke on our end. You're not gonna repeat that, and repeat that they won't, as only 2 people alive for Marvin's Fedora right here, and Treehard is really looking to take this game to at least force an overtime.
Flawless defense there, and 1 round off a win. Spratty landing that last kill through on the window. Now,
right, and one thing I want to talk about real quick is just how overtimes work here, because this game is not like Counter-Strike where, you know, you can have a tie at the end of it. There is 1 overtime round should things go 12-12, and in that overtime round, everything gets reset. All players spawn with, I believe, half ult points, 3 off, I want to say. 3 off from ult, and $5,000. The sides remain the same, but money and ults do not carry over here. So we see, I believe that's Tazzy with the Sage ult right here. Definitely gonna want to make sure that gets off. Actually, both Sages have reses right here, so no sense in saving those for the post fight. So you might see people play a little bit more aggressively here than you may in other rounds.
We also might see some of these Brimstones really throw down some ultimates, and it could be all hell. To be honest, a lot of the attackers pushing through window right now and pushing into B, but one member is in Garden holding that flank. No one realizes where he is right now, but Pretty is pushing up B window. Oh, not B window, sorry. Up to Garden as well. He will be seen on that corner. A couple of members, 1 tap and cold, push out, standing on that molly. Will look like he will be taking a couple of shots there. Has to be very careful. Wall goes up. Stimpack goes up as well, and they will be putting down that spike very soon, I would imagine. A couple of spray shots do miss. Flux sucks, picks up the 1 kill, and it's all down to Indy.
Oh yeah, really gonna need to make sure he can try to get that res off. Same thing with Tazzy, also having res, needs to try to get it. Doesn't want to reveal the positions just yet. But he's gonna sneak into sight both of them long, and there it is, 12-12. Ladies and gentlemen, we are heading to overtime.
I cannot believe it. I can't believe it. This game was so one-sided, but now, and you know what? It may just be a trend, but now we are in that overtime you talked about, and like you said, all ults, 3 off.
Now, one thing to note about that 3 off is that since I had this experience the other day, 3 off means you get an orb, a kill, and a plant, and you have it. You know, it's not just something that you need to, you know, kind of pop off for an entire round to get towards. You can get that ult, kill, and plant, and even if you want to play it really sneaky, you get 1 orb, go all the way to the other side of the map, get that orb, and then get a plant off. And you can have an ult without getting a kill here. So, Something, again, to watch out for. I'm not sure if we'll see it come out, obviously, since I don't think the ults have been overly impactful this game. But all the marbles on the line in this one.
A couple of slows go out. We do see the attackers are spread out quite evenly, but not so. I just feel like they're a little bit disjointed. They really need to come up with a plan of attack. I suppose they're scouting out each site right now, trying to determine where they want to plant. It does look like they are favoring that A site, though, as they are kind of all congregating in that A short region. A couple of flashes, a couple of tremors do go out there by one tap. Isn't exactly sure where they might push.
One. But yeah, just a minute left on the clock now. Gonna have to commit somewhere. I see some rotations over towards B right here. Probably getting a feeling this will be the site unless some last minute teleports come out. One player pushed all the way up in hookah. Likely that's Delusion. I want to say it's Nation playing over by Elbow right there. And just first kill. Gonna go on to Nation. Gets first contact. Mollies himself to heal that back up a bit. Delusion finds another. Two are gonna trade it out. So a 4v3 right there. Still doable for the attackers, and they come in, and there is the kill onto Nation. Tuak going down to Indy from, I believe, that CT spawn, meeting in Hookah, or Elbow, excuse me, going over to Indy, and it is just one tap right now. He knows he's getting flanked.
Wow,
this is gonna, they pass each other in the smoke. There they go. He gets the flank onto Indy, but he has 12 seconds to get bomb down. Can he pull this off? Peeking out onto site. The spray onto Spratty, not going to connect. And ladies and gentlemen, Treehard will complete their hard-fought comeback, taking this 13-12 in the first match of the day. And what a bar that set for everything else.
An amazing turnout for this game. And wow, Flux sucks with 32 kills. Are you joking? Then we've got Pretty, Tuok, and Nation around that 24, 22, 20 mark, and everybody else around the teens. But can you imagine leaving that game with 32 frags?
Oh, that was, for how close that was too, right? And I mean, the first thing that I like to look at, as a brief player, I like looking at those first blood stats, since I feel like getting a kill in that 5v5 is often kind of the most important thing. And we saw Tuok and Flux both with 6, so doing a lot of room, or doing a lot of work for their team, opening up room. But again, I think we just see kind of how defense-sided these maps can be kind of coming out into force here. I was having a discussion with one of my friends about this, about how the overtime system feels a little bit weird, because it's like whoever's on defense, you kind of feel like they have a bit of an advantage. Since again, we saw, I think it was 9-3 for the defending team, both sides. So if you're that, biased towards defense, if they get the extra round on defense, kind of feels like the game's saying, hey, you got a better shot at winning this. But definitely just a doozy. And that last round really came down to the wire, because if one tap was able to connect that spray onto Spratty right there, you're suddenly in a 1v1, and he has to get plan off, but that would be a breathtaking finish right there. Should not
in 12 seconds, I think. I mean, they were very close to one another, but he would have really needed to have landed those shots. Pinpoint.
Do we know where Indy was? Because in the heat of the moment, I lost track of where she was.
I'm pretty sure he was just right around the corner on the other side of the actual plant site. So we saw Spratty in that corner, right? Which was the Brimstone, right? And yeah, and I think Indy was just behind him.
So, what a doozy! And man, I believe these are only 1 games, so I think we'll get some other teams in here very shortly. The 2 of us will be sticking with you guys. I think we're together for another 2 games after this, and then we start subbing out some other casters here. All right, but after that doozy of a game, we're gonna need some time to recharge. So we'll be heading over to a break right now, but stick around, and we'll be bringing you back another match in very short order.